it do any good to pray?
I think so.
You think so?
Oh, I know so.
Oh, you know so. How do you know that?
Because my prayers have been answered.
How do you know that?
Because what I prayed for came true.
How do you know praying did it?
How else? That's my faith.
Maybe it's just something you wanted, so you got it.
No,
why
not the
not?
way it happened.
How do you know?
Because I know.
No, but how
my
do you
faith
know?
tell me. Because what I asked for, only Jehovah could have done.
How do you know that? What did you ask for? Give me an example.
Huh?
Give me an example of what you asked for.
I prayed to be out of a bad situation.
You don't think bad situations can be gotten out of?
Not this situation, not without me praying about
What was the situation?
No, I was in a bad marriage.
Bad marriage.
Yes.
People get bad marriages all the time.
But not like mine.
Yes, they do.
No,
Yes, they
like
do.
mine.
They got a really bad marriages.
Well, I know Jehovah got me out of this.
Why? How do you know that?
Because of the way that it happened. It happened with no repercussions, no backs, no anything.
What makes you think a God did that then?
Because that's what I prayed for and that's what I believe in.
But you don't know that a God actually did it.
Yes, I do.
How?
Because I believe in God.
Believing in God doesn't mean that you know that God did it.
Well, having faith does.
What?
Having faith does.
Having faith does what?
Means that he did it.
How does that? How do you figure?
True. Well,
How do you figure? How's that fair? What's that?
if you look around at everything, how do you think everything came to be?
What does that have to do with God keeping you, getting you out of a marriage?
I'm just saying, because you have to have faith.
Faith is not a way of knowing anything.
I'm sorry?
But faith is not a way of knowing anything.
Yes, it is.
How?
If you have faith, because things were written,
I can have
things
faith
have been proven.
I can have faith in magical unicorns. Does that mean
well,
real?
no, but you have
Okay,
faith
then.
that
So-
you're
so
going to wake
faith-
up in the morning, right?
No, I don't have faith. I have reason to believe I'll wake up in the
Okay.
morning. No faith necessary. Faith is without reason.
No, faith means that you believe in what
No,
you
faith is
cannot
not
see.
belief. If it was belief, we would just say belief. Faith is without reason.
No.
That's why. See, you use faith because you don't have reason. When I ask you, how do you know that God got you out of marriage? You didn't have anything to say. You just referred to faith. No, faith doesn't prove anything. Because faith is in a way. No, that's actually logic at work. It's not my opinion. We either use logic correctly or we don't. Right?
That's your opinion.
That's not my opinion. That's just logic.
That's your opinion. How do you know?
It's not my opinion.
Then how do you know?
How do I know what?
How do you know that that's logic?
Well, whenever someone says something's true, you need to have something that shows it's true. You just can't say it's true because I have faith. Faith is just faith is just you telling yourself that you're right.
No.
Faith isn't actually.
But that's your definition of what
No, that's exactly what faith is, because it's without reason. If you base your conclusions about how the world works on faith, you're pretty much saying the world works this way because I want it to work this way, or because I believe that way. But that's not a way to arrive at the conclusion. You don't know that your conclusion is accurate when you do something like
because
that.
my conclusion is based upon the Bible and what the Bible says.
The Bible is written by a bunch of uneducated
That
men.
were inspired
and-
by God.
How do you know that?
Because the Bible says so.
Okay, you just want a circular reasoning right there.
No, because that's the
If
truth.
you're saying the Bible was inspired by God, and how do you know? And you refer back to the Bible, that's called circular reasoning. That's not logical or
that's your
reasonable.
opinion.
That's not my opinion.
That is your
That's logic at work.
Well, I thank you for stopping by
That's
and
not.
talking.
You're not thinking correctly.
I thank you for
And then
stopping
all studies show that prayer doesn't really do anything at all.
Well, that's your opinion also.
No, it's not really opinion, because our studies have shown that prayer doesn't really do anything at
And
all.
those are studies by imperfect men.
What?
Those are studies done by imperfect men.
But all we have are people, or mankind, to do studies with.
We have Bible. We have
The Bible is written by a bunch of uneducated men.
that were inspired by God.
There's no science in it at all. And you don't know when it's inspired by any God. I asked you how, you said because the Bible says so. So if I write a book about unicorns and you say, oh, how do you know unicorns are real? And I say, because the book of unicorns says so, I would have the same basis for what I'm saying that you do.
But I wouldn't believe that because it's written by an imperfect man.
How do you know? Well, I'll tell you it was written by a unicorn. I'll tell you.
Oh, I really wouldn't believe it then.
Why not? Well,
'Cause I don't
now
believe in
you know
unicorns.
how I feel about your God.
Okay.
Because if you're going to go tell me that a deity of some magical sky daddy
Okay.
wrote a book or
So let me
inspired
ask
you,
you, a man created that, correct? And he wrote the manual.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you know it works?
What do you mean, how do I know it
How do
works?
you know it
I'm
works?
using it right now.
Okay. So that's the same way that I feel about my faith in the Bible.
You don't know that a God exists, though. I know this board exists. So your analogy is false. Because do you even know what a God is?
I know what my God
what is a God?
It's a higher being.
What is a God?
Created all of
The word
universe.
higher is relative.
No.
So what is a God? Do you know what a God is?
I know what my God is.
What is a God?
He's the highest person in
What
the
does that mean?
universe.
Say, what is a God? Can you tell me what a God is?
No, because what you're saying a God is man's version of what a God
Well,
is.
isn't that what we are? Aren't we mankind? We have to understand it in our terms, do we not?
We understand it in reasonable terms. You're trying to
I'm trying
go
to get
beyond
some.
reason.
I'm trying to get something out of you
Well, you
that
believe in
shows.
what you believe. I believe in what I believe. And
What
we
is
have to
that?
wait
What is
and
your
see.
point? What is your point?
You know what probably you believe in. You talk to enough of us to know. You
Okay.
talk to enough of us to know exactly what we believe in.
Okay.
So this discussion is over with. And we can move on.
You guys don't like to
Thank
think.
very
You guys don't like to think outside the box.
Thank you very much.
It's always good to think and question yourself, especially about the stuff you're doing. What's that?
I'm asking you to move on.
That's nice. I don't have to move on the sidewalk. That's why you're
So then
here.
you stay here, and when I move, you can stay right here.
Ah. Look at that, the way that works.
Wow, you can
Less
move it.
effort by
That's
me.
a cool board. Very nice.
It is a nice board.
Very nice. It is a very nice
It is
board.
a nice board. I know the board's real. I don't know if God's real. Big difference between the two.
We're not going to have a spiritual discussion.
What is a spiritual discussion? What does that even mean?
You want to talk about your board, we can talk about your board.
Well, you brought it up, not me.
I just said if you wanted to know, you asked me a question.
And you made a false analogy about my board.
But again, that's your opinion.
No, it's actually pretty factual. You shouldn't believe everything someone tells you like this. This is a cult. It's not to give you the answers. You're anti-science. You don't even believe in evolution, do you? Do you? You don't believe in evolution, do you? No? He doesn't believe in evolution, doesn't acknowledge science. And that's not a way to live life, is to not be educated. You need to educate yourself. That's what's important. That's something that this religion will do for you. It will teach you things you need to know about how the world works. When you make conclusions about how the world works, you need to show that your conclusions are reasonable. You can't just say, well, they're good because I believe it. That's not a way of knowing anything. You're not showing anyone what you're saying is true. And that's bad for everybody. And when you're out here trying to convince people of stuff that doesn't exist, a sky daddy or Jesus or Jehovah or whatever you believe in, and you have nothing to show that it exists, that's bad. You're actually trying to dumb down society. And that's bad for everybody. Mankind shouldn't go around believing in religions and lies about gods and stuff like that. This is actually bad for society. Even though you think you're doing good, you're not doing good because you're actually doing bad. Because you're trying to encourage ignorance and non-questioning. When someone asks you, substantiate your beliefs, and you say the Bible says so, well, because the Bible says so, we're not getting anywhere scientifically. We're not learning. And that's not something that's going to progress mankind. Progress is what we need, not stupidity, not imaginary friends, not religions that don't get us anywhere. Science, learn it. So tired of those dumbasses. So tired of those dumbasses. Ask them questions, they're trying to give you answers. And what is with those dumbasses out there who say, oh, I'm bullying. How can I bully? They're out there trying to talk to people. That's what they're out there trying to do. And I gave them discussion. You're going to be out there trying to dumb down society. You deserve someone to come up to you and question you and ridicule your beliefs, especially if they're fallacious. You shouldn't believe in fallacious things. And that poor little girl who probably less than 20 years old, sitting there. I tried to say a few things to get through to her because the older lady was dumb as rocks. Doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Trying to tell him, learn a little science, logic.